Hey guys, Rich Sifu here, and in this review we're going to go over the UltraFire M10 AA 14500 flashlight. I got this light for, I think it was $19 or so from Dino Direct, and when it came I was actually very disappointed in the brightness. I thought it was just a bad LED or something, so I've actually let it sit for several months and I never did anything with it. I was actually going to throw it out a number of times, but I said, well, it looks like a nice light, let me just kind of hang on to it. And as I got into doing more flashlight modifications with different drivers from Deal Extreme, I decided to look at it again, and even with the 14500 it wasn't really that bright. It's supposed to be 235 lumens. I said there's no way this thing is 235 lumens. It was more like 80 or 90. So recently I put a good 14500 in there, and I noticed it got bright. Then when I put another one in, it was virtually non-existent. So I tested the LED directly, and the LED was blindingly bright. I said, well, it isn't the LED, obviously. So after replacing the driver, that's when I realized that it was in fact a driver problem, not an LED problem. It has the R2 LED in here, which is brighter than a Q5. So you have Q3, Q4, Q5, and then I believe it's the XRE R2s, which is what's in here. So this thing is very bright. I can definitely see it being rated at 235 lumens. And another feature I like is very easy to modify. You can take this off, and there's the LED, and this whole part unscrews, and you can easily get to the back of it. You take off this little covering here and it comes off. And another feature with this thing, it really has an excellent camera mode. Much better than a mag light, a mini mag light or anything, because you don't have any metal here. So just take a look. I mean, that's just with, turn off my headlamp, that's just with this light. There's no other light in this room. And this camera I'm using doesn't really have good low light capacity either. You can see, that's just from this little light. And there's medium and low, strobe and all that stuff. It really is lighting up an excellent area, and unfortunately it doesn't tail stand, but that's okay. It'll still definitely work as far as your lighting up an entire area. Just kind of lean it against a wall or something. The other problem I have with this, other than the fact that the driver was bad, of course, is the focus is not that great. It really needs to be backed off about a turn to get a nice, more focused hotspot. And right where the O-ring catches is the best spot, so I'm going to have to see if I can get an O-ring or something. I do have some on order. I don't know if I'm going to have a big enough one to fill in that gap there. You can see where the brass pill is. And then you get a much better focus. It has a slightly orange pure reflector with a glass lens. And as you can see, the heavy crenellated strike bezel. It's all aluminum, so again it's tough physically. Physically it's going to be tough and strong. Waterproof at the moment will be a problem because of the way I have this set up. So with the lens on, so here at the hot spot, you can see it's nice and bright. It has a little bit of a spill around the hot center point, a little bit of diffusion, that's from the orange peel, and then a really good artifact-free corona. This light is very bright. Here it is compared to the TK 568 I did a review on. This is 150 lumen rated light. That is a max. So you can see it is, on the camera it looks probably about similar brightness, but keep in mind that the tank has a smooth reflector. And now you can see that you can see that the UltraFire is in fact brighter, 235 lumens, and you'll definitely see that outside. So really nice beam. It's definitely bright. Turn this off. And there's medium and your low and your strobe, of course, and the SOS. So since changing the driver, it really works great. Doesn't even get hot on high. The big head definitely knocks out that heat, especially with the brass pill. And excellent beam, good throw. outside. Actually throws further than the tank. Probably, the beam will probably reach 200 feet, with effective range being 150, 130, 150 feet. But really, really nice. So, again, I don't know if my problem is the same as the problem I had is what all the other lights of this series have. I don't know if that's a general build quality issue or if I just got a bad one. But since fixing it, I really do like it. That's one of the ones I do carry with me. And it's pretty much all you can say about it at this point. So let's go outside and we'll check out the usual night beam shots and see what it can really do in the dark.
Alright, so we're outside now. Let's see what the UltraFire M10 will do out here in the dark. Set off the light. Here is the first is the tank. TK568 at 150 lumens with that smooth reflector. Just to give you a little bit of a baseline. Alright, shining it around a little bit. Both of these have 14500 batteries in them. And here's the M10, UltraFire M10. Again, different beam, different reflector, so the tank on the left may look more intense, and at a distance it will throw a little more, but the UltraFire is putting out more light overall. It's rated at 235 lumens. Looks to be about correct based on the other baseline lights. And again, pretty simple. Really good light, good size, a little bigger than the other one. So it's still a pocket light, just a little larger one. So if you're looking for something with a little more power, 235 lumens with a 14500. Unfortunately, the driver I have in here will no longer operate a single AA, but it does use up a lot of the power of a 14500. The voltage is from 4.2 volts down to 2.8 volts. So it'll get really, really dim and it'll just keep working. I was really surprised at that. Let's go over here a little bit and we'll do the shots over here. You can see the spill is lighting up the fence real nice. Okay, nice and bright. That fence there is only about 30 feet. It is hitting the telephone pole up there. That's about 110 feet, 120 feet. And that tree over there is about the same distance, about 120 feet. And again, you can see the spill. That's the spill there hitting the shed. And then coming down, the spill hitting the close-up fence, and even some of it hitting the secondary fence there. All right, so nice and bright. Good diffused, a little more diffused on the beam. And that's a truck going by for anyone curious. And you can see it hitting the houses, a couple of neighbor houses down there. Good 180 feet or so, 200 feet. Don't want to awaken it, disturb anyone. It is about 3 in the morning here. All right, so that is the UltraFire M10. Again, I got it from Dyno Direct, and it appears that I think they're the only ones who sell it, actually. Although I think there's a laser website that sells it also, so laser pointers. 235 lumens with an R2 LED. Again, the original one, if you get one that's not defective, unlike mine, will also run on an AA battery. And I really don't know how bright it will be because, again, mine was bad. All I know it was really dim with the AA battery. And it wasn't much better with the 14500, but, again, I had a bad driver. So since I've replaced it with this excellent driver, I'm really happy with it now. It's pretty impressive when it gets warmer. Right now it's only in the 30s. It's too cold for me to go out to the preserve and really do the really good night beam shots. Although with this camera, with any of my cameras, they don't have the low light capacity I need. I'm looking to get another camera, more modern digital one that I can adjust the shutter with for true night shots, so you can really see what I see looking at it at night. Right now this is the cell phone again, and it comes pretty close, but it's still about, you have to add about 40-50% of the brightness, because it does have good spill around the hotspot. Like on the camera, it's only showing the back fence directly, but the diffusion around the hotspot is showing another 8 to 10 feet around that pretty good, which, it kind of goes suddenly dark on the cameras. So, but up close you can see it does real well. It is showing everything I'm seeing on the camera, so that does give you a pretty true idea of the power of this light with a good It's a good Trustfire 14500 battery in here from the ones I get from Deal Extreme or from Dyno Direct, the ones with the flames. So that's medium. There is your low mode. Again, real good low mode, nice and low. Good for indoor operations, reading something up close. Allows you to see without blinding yourself. And then the usual strobe and SOS. All right, so that is that for this light, the UltraFire M10. And it's got the Cree R2 in it. You can see that there. And again, your slightly orange field reflector. And just to give you a size comparison, if you might have a tank, you can see it's pretty close in size, obviously bigger head, and it's got that heavy-duty strike bezel, which is pretty thick, so that would you could really lace into somebody with that thing. That'll do some damage. And the reflector is a little larger, so again, that will facilitate a little more light output, along with the brighter LED itself, the R2 LED. All right, so there we go. Once again, the UltraFire M10, 14500 light, AA 14500 light actually, but mine is no longer an AA light. Thanks again.